Hello friends, so in front of me I have an assortment of crystals. I have all sorts of different crystals in my collection, from selenite to different types of quartz to tourmaline to calcite. I have so many crystals in my collection, but in reality I have barely breached the surface of what is available to me, and the options of crystals is absolutely amazing. So today I wanted to talk to you about how I learn about crystals, some of my favorite resources, as well as where I buy my crystals. So to start off, I want to share my favorite resource, number one resource, and that is the Book of Stones. This book is so detailed. It talks about the science, it talks about the metaphysical. There is so much in this book that if you need to start somewhere, this is where I would suggest starting. As you can see, I've got all these little tabs on the side. And these tabs are actually my 9-year-old son's doing. He went through and marked off all of the crystals that he has in his collection. So these are all the pages that correspond with the crystals that he has. So just to give you an example, let's see, which one's this? Oh, this is the page for Snowflake Obsidian. And so it has the keywords. So for Snowflake Obsidian, it talks about the keywords being perseverance, insight, attunement to spiritual guidance, past life recall, spirit communication. The element is earth. The chakras are the root chakra, which is the first chakra, and the third eye, which is the sixth. And then it gives a little bit of detail about the stone, as well as a very nice picture. And then the different authors have given some different insight to the different crystals. There is affirmations for the crystals, there's spiritual uses, emotional uses, physical uses, and it also has the scientific information about the crystal as well. So to start off, this is an amazing book to look into. I also highly recommend a book like this to take with you when you are crystal shopping. I am pretty sure there is a pocket edition of this book, but honestly, I just carry this around with me when I go to gem and mineral shows. It's big, but it's got everything I need. I can look it up. And a lot of vendors actually have this book with them as well. I've seen so many vendors that will have this on their back table to help identify and answer questions that consumers have. My next resource is a wonderful woman who actually is here on YouTube as well, and that is Hibiscus Moon. I absolutely love her website and her YouTube channel. She also has a lot of courses. I haven't actually taken any of her courses yet. Hopefully one day I will. But she talks a lot about crystal grids. I've actually read her crystal grid book. I own the ebook of it, so I don't have the physical copy. I guess I could show you my Kindle, but that's not very exciting. But anyways, Hibiscus Moon, great author, and her videos are so insightful. I really, really like them. And then in terms of books, I have also taken out every single book on crystals that my library has. Some are more lapidary based, like actual science about rocks and minerals, especially relating to the specific area I live. But then I also have read crystal healing books, crystal grid books, crystals in terms of magic use, like with witchcraft or with manifestation. Depending on the reason you want to buy crystals will also change the resources that you need. The resource like this is very general and talks about kind of all uses for crystals. But if you are specifically looking into crystal healing or for crystal grids, or even if it's just decoration and you just want to know more about the stones, different resources will be applicable for you depending on what you would like to do. So I always recommend, becoming friends with Google and typing in what it is that you are looking for. So if you're looking for crystal healing, then looking up Hibiscus Moon is a great resource. Like I said, she also has a great crystal grid book, which I own and have read. I highly recommend it. But then there's also just information based on your location. So if you are, say, looking for where you can find crystals, where if you actually want to go out to a mine, you may want to type in your location and the type of crystal that you're hoping to find. I personally am looking forward to the day that I can go to Thunder Bay, Ontario and dig into their amethyst mine. I'm so excited to do that one day soon. And that is also another vastly underutilized resource, is actually the mines themselves and the miners. So often we can actually go and talk to the people who unearth these crystals. There is, like I said, an amethyst mine in Thunder Bay. And down in the southern US, there's different places you can go. I'm pretty sure, is it Tucson, Arizona, has a lot of crystal mines. They also have a gigantic gem and mineral show, which I have seen vlogs of online and pictures of, and it's amazing. But talking about gem and mineral shows, that is actually my favorite place to get crystals, because usually you get the best prices because you can deal directly with suppliers as opposed to someone who is reselling it after buying it from a supplier. I also find that the people at the booths of the gem and mineral shows are often the most knowledgeable people when it comes to the crystals they are selling. Sometimes when you go to, say, a New Age shop, the people who work there don't always know about crystals. And that's okay. They might work there because they have other interests. Maybe they're into tarot, maybe they're into witchcraft, maybe they're into who knows what kind of spiritualism. But they might not be interested in crystals. It just happens to be something that their store sells. It's like going to a bookstore. Not everyone is going to be knowledgeable about every single book that exists on those shelves. Someone may be able to give you a recommendation for a horror book, but has no idea about romantic comedies. It's the same kind of thing if you go to kind of a general New Age shop. Now, there are specific crystal shops. We've got a few here in the city that I live in that are not just spiritual-based shops that sell crystals. They are actually dedicated crystal shops. They do tend to have very knowledgeable people working within them, and can give you a lot of insight into the crystals that you're buying. Some of them I can even go in and be like, hey, I'm looking for a crystal for such and such a use, and they can give me a recommendation. Actually, this aventurine here, I went in saying, I'm looking for a crystal for luck that I can also put in my money box, and this is the crystal that I left with. So there are all sorts of different ways to get crystals, but again, my favorite is going to a gem and mineral convention. Where I live, we have about 3 or 4 a year, so I'm very lucky. But I know not everyone has that option. I do live in a major city. But a lot of the times there will be a convention, maybe even if it's just once a year, in a location that is hopefully within driving distance for you. You might have to take a weekend trip to go down to the convention. But if you've been saving up all year to buy crystals from a reputable source, it could definitely be worth it. And now I do also want to warn you against buying crystals from places like Wish, eBay, even some online websites. If the price seems too good to be true, it probably is. Also, if you see the picture everywhere, like there was this picture of fluorite, and it seemed to be all over eBay. It seemed to be all over Wish, all over all of these different websites. You know, like you'll get the Facebook ad for websites, and they'll show you this picture for fluorite. And it's like, how come everyone has the exact same specimen of fluorite? Doesn't really make sense. If I'm buying a crystal online, I want to make sure that what I see a picture of is what I actually get. If I saw a picture of this selenite and then I got a crystal that was this size, this isn't selenite, this is actually quartz, but just size comparison. If I saw a picture of this size and received something this big, I'd be upset. And rightfully so. A lot of the times they just use a stock image to sell their crystals, and they make it look like the most beautiful stone ever, and then you receive something that is small, potentially chipped, and just not the quality that you thought it was. So be careful when using those kind of websites. Again, I much prefer to buy my crystals in person because I just like to hold them and feel them and sense their energy. This is actually labradorite if you are interested. And this is, I really picked up this stone for a reason because labradorite has a very interesting shine to it. It's what makes it so beautiful in my opinion. But that shine is really hard to capture on camera, and sometimes they'll catch it at the best possible angle, and then when you get it, you're like, oh, it doesn't actually look like that. That's kind of disappointing. Like I have this specimen of labradorite, which just has a little tiny rainbow, and that's it. But I just thought this one was so cute, I still wanted to have it. So those are my tips for researching and buying crystals. If you like information about crystals, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I have lots more videos like this planned. Love, light, and happiness to all of you. Have a fantastic day. Bye.